But you can even have scenarios where the LT wall is chained to a lane gem, which you wouldn't think would be that strong in theory. But you could literally just sit there and run the killer on those setups all match, and even have him never get you and escape. Yay, chasing. Oh god. Oh my god. Use the juke to get away. Oh god, that's having too much fun. Here he goes. He's gonna get me here though. Oh god. Holy shit. What's up, Ravens? Oh my god! I used the zombie to escape. That's like cheap. I feel bad. All right. Disturbed Ward, also known as hold forward until you get to the main and abuse the magic window. So this is a map that is very much like the storehouse in a way that it has a few what I would call sleeves of common tiles leading up to the main building that is near the middle, or at least close enough where you can make it to it from anywhere besides the end of one of the what I would call the sleeves. That main building is incredibly strong. There's a bunch of different ways to run it, and I'm going to show you as many different ways as I can possibly think of for the time being. But before we get to the main, let's go over some of the common tiles on the Disturbed Ward. So one of the tiles you can get is over here, and this is one of those pallets that you definitely want to be greeting. You can see through the wall, so it's not the most mind gameable, but it's definitely mind gameable somewhat from the killer. So you want to be careful with this one. This is definitely one of those maps specifically that you want to save tiles until you're, or this is one of those maps that you want to save pallets until you're on deathhook specifically, because it is such a big map that there can be huge dead zones created by losing one tile, losing one pallet at a tile specifically. This is one of those areas where throwing this pallet would actually be decent, because you got a killer shack right there with another pallet, and then, but that would also create a big dead zone in this whole area that you have to wait to try to get from this common gym back to the main. So you really wouldn't want to throw that until you were on death hook. And even then, throwing that is definitely one of those pallets that they could probably bloodlust and get around. This is another one of those pallets that is very unsafe against something like a Nemesis or a Huntress, since they can throw over all of that. A Huntress can even hit you on that. You'd have to be ducking, although they might even be able to hit you if you're ducking. I've never been hit by one. I've seen people try, but that doesn't mean that you can't be hit by one. But same thing, you want to run it this way as tight as possible, looping everything always as tight as possible. And then when they get a little bit closer, you can run to this one. This one is not mind gameable, so M1 killers would struggle mightily on this one to try to get an actual hit. Although it could be bloodlusted. If they bloodlusted you, they could always just sit there until bloodlust 3 and then get you down. So might as well not throw the pallet until you're on death hook, like every other one. You can get a pallet on one like this right here. Same scenario as the other one. But I will say you have to be careful. A lot of people don't know this, but the killer can hit you over this wall. I'm going to show you a clip from my friend Lee Lego, who did this to another survivor.
Wall was located there. You watch this. You think I can go 2 for 2? There's no way, right? Oh my god. Yeah.
So just keep that in mind when you're looping and there's a pallet here on this tile, that if the killer is watching you and you're running, say you're getting pushed this way and you're running around, the killer can slap you from this. Just keep that in mind. As opposed to if you're running it this way and if you're running as tight as possible, the killer wouldn't be able to hit you that way if you're looping as tight as possible, right? Because they'd be coming behind you. But like I said, if they are pushing you this way, be careful because they can hit you over that wall. All of these as well, these are all things that can have a pallet that you can loop around. In the same scenario, you can get hit over these walls. Be very careful. If it's a Huntress or a Nemesis, it'd be pretty rough to try to loop these tiles. M1 killers are just pretty straightforward common tiles. Fuck. Okay. Over here we have the courtyard. So the courtyard is very interesting place in the terms of it's usually a huge dead zone and you're not going to get much looping done out here. I will say there can be a pallet on something like this, just like the other one. It's not here, but it would be the same type of tile as the other place. This pallet can either be here or here, can be at either bench. This is also a very unsafe pallet versus, once again, Huntress, Nemesis, Trickster, Deathslinger. Very, very unsafe. Even if the pallet is thrown, they can drag you over with not much penalty, even if it's Deathslinger. And then if you end up getting pushed on this side, greed the pallet, just like every other unsafe pallet. What the fuck? How did was she injured? Or exposed? There can be a pallet that can spawn in this area. Very unmine-gameable safe pallet since you can see through the wall. Huntress can throw through this wall, so be careful. So can Trickster, Slinger. All those killers can hit you through this wall, so be careful. Big scenario, though, if you did have a pallet here, same thing. Don't just run this side. You can then also, once you get close enough, switch to this side. You don't just have to run the big side and then throw it down. You can try to get some fun mind game 50-50 going on. And then try to get the pallets done to get away. Pallet can spawn at these. This is very common rock that can spawn in Autohaven Wreckers or Macmillan as well. Same scenario, be careful with Huntresses. You can duck them. Same with Nemi. You can duck them, but you can be hit if you're standing up. But otherwise, you just loop normally. Greed the pallet. Run to the small side. But once you run to this side, beware what you're mind gaming. It'd be better to sort of camp the pallet on this way and run back and forth and wait for them to actually commit to a lunge and then throw the pallet down in their face. In this scenario right here, though, if you get a spawn like this is something we would call an OP nest. Now, what we meant originally when we said something about this was we were talking about the OP level of this setup over here. Now, of course, that led to us saying OP nest, which everyone just heard OP nest, so now we just call it the OP nest. But this would be a good example of an OP nest, right? Because you have a common tile that's not crazy strong, but you can connect it to the window. Back and forth, right? And then the killer push you around that way. Say he didn't, say he pushed you back that way. And he's running around. Then you come back to the tile. You're coming around this way. Same thing, doing what we were just doing before. And then he runs around that way. Say you go that way. And then you can jump the window. And then you're back to square one. Say he pushes you back around that way. And you're going. And then you're back over here until he bloodlusts you and hits you. Use the tree tech. Free drop. Do I make back to this window? I think so, right? Because it's up the ramp. But that's another reason why it's good to keep pallets up rather than throw down, because pallets are always stronger up than when they are thrown down, unless you're about to be on death hook. And even then, sometimes killers respect more when you're on death hook because they expect you to throw pallets more when you're on death hook. The only time you really want to throw the pallet after greeting it is if you know they are going to get into the lusty blood. Once you know they're going to get bloodlust, might as well throw it down because you're not going to get another safe loop around even if you greeted it successfully. That's when you want to throw the pallet. You can also get a pallet over in these bushes area. It is not guaranteed. And it can be mind-gamed by the killer, but not really bloodlusted. You can camp it and sort of safely go back and forth. No! But if you bloodlust 3, nothing is really safe. This is the last common tile that can spawn. There can be a pallet here. This is kind of like the other one. It's just about the same distance, but equally as unmind-gameable. I'd say this one is less mind-gameable than the other one because the other one has the cracks in the wall. But not only does it have the cracks in the wall, but the killer can still break line of sight, whereas this one you can see the killer over the whole thing. So this is a little bit of a safer pallet, whereas this side is the unsafer side. If you want to have some fun, run this one once it gets a little bit closer and greed the pallet and see what you can do and try to camp it, run back and forth. And then throw it down eventually once you see him commit to a lunge. So I think that's it for the Disturbed Ward common tiles. So now let's get into the actual setup of the map. So the way the layout is going to be, the ward itself is going to be in the middle. That's the strongest part of the map, always. Killer Shack is always going to be in this corner. There's going to be what I call sleeves on sides of the map where things like this would be a good example of the sleeve. And the only reason I call it a sleeve is just because it has 2 or more in a row common tiles, so just call it a sleeve of tiles where you're just running down. And they can be anything. They can be LT walls like we have here. They can be a long wall gym, which is what we have here. You can have a lane gym. You can have a common single pallet gym. And it's just up to RNG which ones you get. And then it's up to you to try to figure out how to chain them together. Most of them have great scenarios that you can chain together. This is actually not the strongest scenario to chain together, since if you're running this way and you're going to come off, your best chain, if you ran around, would be to come to this way. So that would be like the only way you could chain it back and forth. But even that, being not the strongest possible scenario to chain, it is still pretty strong. It could just be stronger than what we have here. This is a strong gym, but a stronger gym to chain essentially with the LT wall. But if the LT wall was facing a different direction and that was facing a different direction, to become much stronger. But you can even have scenarios where the LT wall is chained to a lane gym, which you wouldn't think would be that strong in theory. But you could literally just sit there and run the killer on those setups all match and even have him never get you and escape. God damn it. I shouldn't have greeted it. So that would be one of the sleeves over there in that area. You're going to have this wall right here that I'm not sure if they fixed it or not, but Nurse can't even blink through because technically that's the outside of the map. This is just your good old-fashioned killer shack with your good old-fashioned god pallet and window to go with it. Once again, I always say to people, loop the backside as well. There's nothing on the backside, but that doesn't mean you can't loop it to waste the killer's time. Make him try to get a little bit closer to you so it takes the mind game out of you jumping the window itself. Because if he was a bit further away, you'd have to be waiting on this mind game out here. But if he was a bit closer to you, it would force him not to be able to mind game. It's all about getting that perfect distance and rhythm. But just because of that, something to watch out for with the killers is sometimes the killer will know that and they'll just try to throw you off of their rhythm. So instead of like coming in or just straight up going out this way, sometimes killers will do things like stand right in this area. They'll just stand here for like 4 seconds or even longer just to throw you off your rhythm and then come flying back in just to see what you're going to do. And there's little things you can do to sort of avoid that, which I do as well. I'll be running this way. And when I'm running this way, I'll run this a little bit wide because even though if you run it wide, you can still get the running vault from the wide angles. So I'll do little things like that to sort of throw it off. A lot of times people will do things like circles, but I don't like doing circles because circles can throw you off. What if you're doing circles waiting for the killer to come back around, and then the killer comes back around and you're at this part of your circle and you get hit? So I never think circles is a good idea. You never want to be camping right at this window either, because if you're camping here, the killer can walk around and hit you. So right now, how I tend to run Killer Shack is until the killer's close enough, I run around the back, wait for the killer to get close enough to try to take off the mind game. And if the killer's not close enough, but we're in that rhythm, I'll run it extra wide because that way I can either jump the window, and if I ran it extra wide and he doesn't do the mind game, I can at least still have the option to throw the pallet without taking a hit. Oh, this is fucking scary. Pick her up, pick her up, pick her up, pick her up, pick her up. Yeah, I got the flashy save. Run! Throw it down. What, do you got fucking bamboozle? It's not. Okay. Oh! Ah! Yes! That's my 2 cents on Killer Shack, although there's 8 million guides out there on how to run the Killer Shack. Over here is another sleeve of 2 tiles. We'll never have a sleeve bigger than 2 tiles on this map. It's not going to be like a suffocation pit where there's just 6 tiles stuffed in the middle, one on top of each other. You could get like a pallet here onto the 2 sleeves, which would make both of them even stronger.
Enough, but once again, mistakes. I'll know for next time. I mean, hopefully not next time with that, but... I have an penis over here. This is nice.
This setup is ridiculous.
Let's blow it somehow.
Damn. Just like that. God damn it. That's what I was hoping you'd do, buddy. Which way? I don't even know where the fuck he's going. You're going that way. Huh? I'm fucked here, though. Oh, boo. I was too late. Ah! What's up, Katie? But that's up to RNG. That would never be guaranteed, but the 2 tiles will always be here. Right now we got a simple pallet gym and a lane gym is what I like to call these. So my take on the simple pallet gyms, if you're not going to try to play it, is my favorite spot to stand is right here. You get the edge on the very left to see if the killer's coming. It gives you the best type of distance to see if he does, because if he moonwalks, you get to see his butt come out first and gives you enough reaction time to sort of get around this way. And if you're running this way, same thing, right? If you're running that way and then you see him go back and then you're pushing right here, and then if he pushes you back that way, you might have enough time to actually get that way, but you're looking behind, and if you don't see it, then you can sit there and then, or you can run around this way and camp here just to see, because a lot of times they'll try to pre-swing into it because it's a pretty mind-gameable pallet. And then you can run it this way, which is actually a good way to run it against someone like a Huntress or a Slinger or a Trickster or a Nemesis, running it on this side, because those killers are likely to go for an M2 and expect you to throw down a pallet, especially running it in such an unsafe manner. But the reason I run it as well in such an unsafe manner is because I just don't like camping a pallet and just throwing it down, especially risking taking a hit and then throwing it down, because that's the worst feeling, knowing that I camped a pallet, took a hit, and got rid of the pallet. That's just pretty much what I try to avoid. At all costs playing Survivor, I try to avoid getting hit and throwing the pallet. Greeting the pallet, yeah, there's a lot of times you'll get hit greeting the pallet. There's a lot of times you'll go down just because you greeted a pallet. But if you went down greeting a pallet, at least the pallet is still there. That's still kind of a win-win scenario. I'll go down, I'm not on death hook. It's fine because I at least saved the pallet. But if you go down and you threw the pallet and you were on death hook, you can't use that pallet again. You went down. It just, everything is lost there. God damn it. Got me. Now, in this scenario, these gyms are a lot stronger being able to tile or being able to connect with another tile. This isn't the best scenario for you to be able to connect them, but say you had a lane gym here into a long wall gym, so you could do what I was just talking about, right? And then you, even if you got the killer to pre-fire into there, then you came and you jumped on this one. This, once again, this is all up to RNG and just hypothetical. So my take on the lane gyms, actually, is trying to get the killer out that way. And you can either have two types of lane gyms. You can have the one that has the window here, or the window here on the outside, which makes it for a tricky running vault, but I like that version better, to be fair, because it's closer. This one is more mind gameable for the killer. Sometimes you can have no break here as well. That is my favorite version of it, with the long window and then the window there, because you can run around this way, make the killer force around. That way, if it's the long version, then you come in and then you can run and jump the window. And then run around and do your thing. Once again, on these, you want to not loop too tight, because the killer will just slap you through the window when they're doing that. And be careful, because you can bait killers a lot of times into just vaulting the window. So say he vaulted here, and then he's pushing around this way. This is one of my favorite things to do at these lane gyms, I will say, is using this as a way to escape. Because a lot of times the lane gym, these walls will be different, and this will be a very unsafe pallet. You can use just going in there for a second, waiting for that half second when you know the killer is going to break line of sight, and then getting away from there, because the killer might swing in. So you can come in here, run in here, wait for the killer to go the other way, and then just escape, get away from there. And the longer that you have been looping a killer at a scenario where you're looping them at the lane gym, specifically connecting it with another gym, the more likely you are to get away from a scenario like that, because they're going to expect you to stay at one tile, and then when you finally hold away, that can literally just help you get away from something that's an unsafe tile. But lane gyms are not the strongest to loop, but they are incredibly strong to misdirect the killer and be able to get away and onto another stronger tile. So my take on LT walls, the most efficient way to do it involves a bunch of mind games and running and trying to see which way the killer is going to push you, right? Because there's a lot of the times where you're in this scenario, you're running here, and if you jump it, and the killer doubles back, then you get hit, and if you don't jump it and the killer didn't double back and he moonwalks around the corner, you get hit. So that just seems like a lot of mental work. It is the most efficient way to run LT walls, but I personally like having a goal or a specific objective when I'm running a tile. So over the time, I'm sitting at about 6,000 hours on Survivor. So my answer might change 6,000 hours from now. My answer might be different, but right now, the way I run LT walls, I basically just run the L first, because it's usually the longer one. And once the killer gets close enough to you, you run as tightly as you can the L. You just run it over and over. The L. Because that way, the first time the killer doubles back for the mind game, right, you get away with it. And you're not even, trying. Because if you try to run right here and then mind game, you're in a weird scenario every single time. Whereas if you're just running it as tightly as possible, a lot of times the killer won't be looping as tight as possible. And you can get not only another loop, but the free mind game. Because say he pushes the other way and then all of a sudden you're back here because he mind gamed himself, and now you're at the L wall again. And you're just looping the L wall normally, waiting for him to catch up. And then once he finally catches up, you switch to the T wall. And then once he finally catches up, right? Or say he mind gamed himself there, and then you're back to the L wall, right? Doing it again. I like looping it this way much better, because it just seems much more relaxing to do that than to try every single time to be doing the whole, oh, I'm going to do it this way. And then it actually does allow you to throw in an extra little mind game when he sees you looping it the way you did, because you can come in like that. And then he will see it noticeably be different than how you were looping it before, which will make him really think twice about doubling back. And you might be able to get him again when he otherwise would not have been able to. Does he double back? He didn't. Interesting. Does he double back here? He didn't. Oh no, there's the fucking... Oh damn, good shit. He got me here. I guess not. What the hell? How did he win the mind game but lose? I'm not warm enough to even... No. I'm not warm at all. God damn it. Biffle, this is gonna suck. Trying to loop a slinger on an LT wall. God damn it. Damn it. Nothing worked. So that's my take on LT walls. So long wall gyms are the most interesting, I'd say, of the gyms, because there's the most options available to you. I think it's the strongest of the gyms as well. So the main objective you really want is to be looping it this way, killer running behind you, and then you jump the window, right? And then see which way the killer pushes you. Or if they vault, a lot of times killer will vault. You can get the running vault here, just like that, if you need. And then if he pushes you that way, then you're running back around here. Be careful because the killer can run in and then moonwalk back this way. So a lot of times I'll stand here instead. Because if they moonwalk back this way, then you can come here. You can even greed the pallet, and if you greed the pallet, you make it back to this window. And then push him around. So this one, like I said, is very interesting because it's up to the killer. You can come here and then fake, and then if he doubles back, then you're over here again, and you're back to the square one. Where you're standing here. Killer might even double pre-swing in, and then push you this way. If he's pushing you this way, you can even fake and then run back to this way. And then you're back to square one. Yay! I got one ball agreed to work. Yes. Can I get away from there? Before he chopped his 0 off. Alright, well, I'm getting away from there, because what the fuck? Now, I like the long wall gyms, because the long wall gyms has one of the biggest threats to have the window connectable to another tile. And it makes it extremely dangerous to have a window onto a pallet into another tile, specifically, instead of just a strong window with something else. So I feel like having the long wall gym is usually the biggest threat to be chainable into the other gyms. So this is the last common tile that can spawn on Disturbed Ward, and here's my take on this one. I honestly just like to loop. I like to start it off this way. Once the killer is onto me, you're over here. You can greed this pallet if he's close enough, if he's not. What I like to do is loop hugging the wall. So whenever you're looping and you want to loop as tight as possible, you can always run into a wall. You can run too tight into the wall and you're not moving enough forward. I'm still moving forward, but not enough. So the real goal is to be looping as tight as possible while not losing any distance from the killer. So you're always running this way. That's why when you'll see a lot of survivors that look like they're running into the wall. But they do that because the very first frame available, it'll push them out this way into the direction that they want to go. And then all you have to do is whip the camera around and bam, you're looping as tight as possible. So you want to trick the killer into thinking that, right? That you're going to keep looping out that way so you can get a free vault here. Otherwise, you're putting the killer at a easier scenario to determine whether you're going to get the jump or not, because if I'm running straight this way, killer knows I'm going to either jump the window or fake it, right? Whereas the killer's going to have to think twice if I'm looping here, and it looks like all I'm going to do is loop this pallet because I'm looping super tight, and then you jump the window. Same thing if you're running it this way. There are other times where the killer, if you're obviously running right at this window, they're going to realize that, and they're going to either stand here and wait to see which way you go, or they're just going to go the other way. Whereas if you're looping it this way already, looping as tight as possible, and the killer sees you, and then you switch, while still getting the running vault, it'll put them at a bigger disadvantage, and you'll gain some extra distance on them. So really what I like to do on this is wait to see which way the killer's going to push me. Sorry. So really what I like to do with this is wait to see which way the killer's going to push me. Wait to get the killer as close as possible to me. If the killer mind games or anything like that, then you just jump it. Because the killer might be going around that way, and then you push you this way. You're running over here. But this is another one of those scenarios where you can do it more efficiently by doing the mind game. I just like having a goal when I'm running it. And my goal when I'm running this specific tile is trying to loop this pallet as tight as possible, and once the killer is close enough to hit me or not mind game, then you jump the window. Use the window as the secondary and loop the pallet originally. That's my take on that tile. No! So, now that we've been over most of the tiles that you can get in Disturbed Ward, now let's go over the main building. Now, the main building, this is definitely one of those maps where the main building is the meat and potatoes, and specifically one window is the key to this entire building. So, naturally, we're going to do that window last. First, let's talk about the upstairs. So the upstairs is not much here. It's just a big circle. You have one pallet. As you can see, the pallet's right there this time. But the upstairs is always going to have the gen here. Most of the time there's a chest here. I thought it was guaranteed for a long time, but it's not guaranteed. You will not always have a chest there. And unless you have balanced landing, there's literally no reason for you to be trying to loop upstairs unless you're just trying to misdirect the killer and hold forward, which is also viable in a lot of scenarios. But you wouldn't want to be doing that purposely unless you're already in chase or trying to get away from this generator. So say you were on this generator, I'd say the safest spot, because this is a situation where you don't know which way the killer's going to come up. You always hear the terror radius, but you don't know which way the killer's coming from. This is one thing where you'd really want to pre-check and see which way the pallet is at on the upstairs, because whichever place the pallet is at, that's where you'd want to come and camp, right? Because if you camp right here, if the killer comes from down there, you can see him coming and run to the pallet. If the killer comes from over there, you can see him coming and you can run to the pallet. If the killer comes from the upstairs, you can see him coming and you can run to this window and get out, right? So whichever staircase has the pallet, that's the one you would want to be camping. If it's the greenhouse window, then it's going to be on your right side. If it's the magic window, it's going to be on the left side right here. So you'd be standing here in the same scenario. You could see him coming and he'd push up and go to the pallet. If you saw him coming from there, you could push up and go to the pallet. If you saw him coming from any of these directions, you could come here and jump the magic window. And that's where the two pallets can spawn upstairs. You will only ever have one, and it's going to be in one of those two spots. If it's the magic window, it'll be right here. And if it's the greenhouse window, it'll be right there. There's not really much you can do in this room. I suppose you can walk on this ledge and maybe lose the killer occasionally if you're running up the stairs and run around the corner. Most killers know about this ledge, but this is a possibility that the killer can hole himself. Maybe every now and then you can just loop this as tight as possible and try to get some value if there's literally nothing left, but that's nothing more but a time waster.
He's right there! Ah!
So, let's get into the greenhouse window. There is a way to get this running vault while running down the stairs. I am just very inconsistent at it and admittedly have not figured it out completely. I've gotten it. I know it's possible and it is very useful. I just don't know how to make it consistently. Getting this running vault, I personally think, is the hardest running vault to get in the entire game. I literally do not know how to get it consistently. It is possible. If anybody knows how to get it consistently, you are a legend. But that running vault right there, very hard running vault to get, and I've gotten it very few times, but it is possible to get that running vault. I just have not developed a method yet to get it consistently. So the important thing to remember about this window specifically is if this door is not broken yet, you can run it from this side. You can just run from this side, jump it, and it's fine. Killer will probably break the window right there in that scenario. And then it will not be safe from this side for the rest of the match. I take the slow vault just in case they would have gone for shred. Just know that, because if you're running from this side, right in here and you see the greenhouse to your right, just know that you most of the time won't be able to run that, and you'd want to run to the magic window over to your left instead. Once that door is broken, this is the way you're going to be running it. This is the most common way you're going to run it. You're just going to run here, jump through, watch him run around, jump behind. He's going to push you around this way. This is very important. Coming over to this ramp, you can push up right here to the right side of that little rock. Once you push up, you're going to want to push as far to the wall as you can, because a lot of times killers will try to hit you right there, and as long as you're hugging the wall very tight, the killer will not be able to hit you right there. And sometimes you can even get extra loops just because the killer swung and missed, and if you were hugging that wall tightly, you will be able to get away. Yes! The ramp knowledge. And get through again. Looking at the killer through the window to see which way he goes, see if he pushes back. If he does push back, you can use this wall right here as a way to turn the killer back around, because you don't want to jump it right there. You don't want to sit here camping the window because he could just keep pushing back. So you'd want to run this way, make the killer chase you. Now beware, killer might be aware, so they could push you that way. That way you'd have to get into this sort of mind gamey situation. They might even have to commit to running around this way and coming. But that wall is a useful wall to use as a redirective object to push the killer the way you want them to push you. And that's how you run that one by itself. Now, how you connect it to the strong window, because most of the time you will not get more than 2 loops off this, because it's a pretty big loop and the killer will catch up to you after usually about 2 loops, is getting these 2 from pushing around through the broken door. So what you want to do is after the second one, you want to push this way. And this is an optional pallet. There's a few pallets like this as well. And you want to be careful on pallets like this because it is a very unsafe pallet, despite it looking safe. And if the killer knows this, when you throw this pallet, they can just walk right around this. Is there a pallet in here, maybe? There is! Damn. I thought they were close enough to even just hit me. And if they threw it, this is very unsafe. Just know that. This is a very greetable pallet, however, but you'll be in a scenario where you have to play the very risky 50-50 mind game that you then will not get away from unless you get the pallet slam. That's me being chased. But if you get the pallet slam, you will get away from it. And the killer might even just let you go afterwards. He's right here. Do you respect it? Haha! But be aware whenever you see those pallets in here that they could just be walk-aroundable. Because many of them are. And they can be in a lot of places. It can be here, here. It's right here. Here, you know, it can be pretty much anywhere. It just won't be right here. This is one place it will not be. This will always be open, this little area right here. But it can be right here as well. The pallets here and here are useful only if you want to throw them and then use it to get back. Because once again, you don't want to throw it and then be caught in this scenario where we're going to do this. But that could also be a scenario where you throw the pallet and then use the upstairs as well to cut across to get back to where you wanted to be. Because that would be a decent way to use the upstairs, is to cut across or, once again, sort of waste more time from the killer making and figure out where you were going to go. This pallet right here as well, you can have this pallet either spawn here, or you can have this pallet spawn here. It can be either or. Although I really think it's better if it spawns here, because it's more important if you can greed this pallet here and use it to get to the magic window. That is much more of a threat of a greed than it is on the other one getting to the greenhouse, in my opinion. God damn it. That's good shit. He has a mastermind thing. He's Walter Vite is not the thing either. This is gonna be rough. I think he can get me here. He didn't. He left. Oh god. Well, this is bad. This window right here, I like to call it the magic window because there are so many different plays you can make on this window. You can just be running it either direction. You can run it using that side, that side. The killer can even run upstairs and try a drop down mind game, which you have to be ready for by keeping it in sight. Just think about how many options you're looking at right here. You have the entrance on the right, you have the window in front of you, you have the entrance on the left, and you have upstairs drop down that the killer can try to hit you from. That is a lot of options you got going on this window. This is why I call it the magic window. And this window connects everything together, right? But the way you really want to run this window is using this part here. Because you can run this part here as well. And this is the easier way to run it, I suppose. But it's more mind gameable from the killer, so you wouldn't really want to use this side unless you were pushed the proper way. What you want to take advantage of is a lot of killers' inexperience to see how to run around these little pieces of wood, because it looks like you could be hit here, right? It looks like there's nothing there, but there's definitely an invisible wall. Can't hit me there. Haha. That you cannot walk around, and killers will get caught on, stub their toes, as we like to say. So you walk around this one. And then same here. A lot of times the killers will try to cut you off, but they don't see this extra little rock. You want to walk around that. And then keeping the killer in focus. Stop here, because this is as far as you can be with still getting the running vault. Watching the killer come around. And you can get extra vaults off of this, just because the killer doesn't know how to run around all this little jagged hitboxes. And anything like that is definitely a weapon that you can utilize against the killer. God damn it. Yeah, she doesn't know how to loop the window. Let's fucking go. And then if you're getting pushed this way, killer turns around, same thing. You just run around this way and jump the window. A lot of times you can, I would like to stay here instead of running around here, because I don't like running around to this side quite as much, because that side over there is a bit more unsafe. And I will say as well, if the killer's coming here, they can hit you here unless you're trying to hug the wall. Yes. Do I make this now? Yes. I literally just wanted to see if they could hit me. That's why I stopped there for a second. They cannot. That's hilarious. But if you're trying to hug the wall, there's a little hitbox here, and it's very inconsistent when you get hit by it. But here he is, right? I can't move here. I'm getting stuck by that hitbox. And then it all of a sudden just lets me go. So I don't like using this side quite as much because I feel like sometimes you'll try to be avoiding the hit, get stuck, and then not make the window because you avoided the hit. And that's just something I'm not willing to risk quite as often. So I avoid that side. But every now and then you can use it as a way to avoid something, especially against projectile killers, and they end up pushing you this way. Because with projectile killers, you have to be more careful with the window, obviously, since they're still a threat, even though being on the other side of the window. So more often than not, if I'm using this side, it's going to be against projectile killers. Yeah. Hold the other way. Oh! God damn it. No! But against the other killers, you can get extra free loops off of inexperience by running it that way or running it this way. And the killer trying to hit you through that, which is the same thing. Got to be careful. Be careful about looping it too tight. This is one of the only scenarios where you don't want to loop too tight. Same with the Gideon meat plant. Stairs, just be careful. There's no reason to have to loop to the centimeter tight once you're on this ramp over here. Once you're on this ramp, no reason to loop to the centimeter tight. You're not going to save yourself any of the distance. So might as well not loop insanely tight and risk getting your toe stubbed. It's coming up on like 5k hours. I'm coming up on 5k hours too, actually. We have like similar playtime. I want to say he has a little more than me. Nice. Alright, I'm gonna have to... just take a hit. Nice. This window OP. A lot of free extra loops that you shouldn't get. Let's try to do exactly that. Although he went the other way. He'll get an M1 on me here. I thought he was. This is my favorite window in the game. Sneak my way back to the other window. Am I gonna make this? I don't even know. Yes! Oh, make it! No, it won't. Ah, Piggy, I was wrong. It's his fine. She a boozle? She does not. How do you get stuck on absolutely nothing? Why does it always happen around this way? Guess not. Why isn't it blocked? Yeah, bloodless? No! Dang it. Oni's currently my least favorite killer to play against. Yay! Let's bully on the hard window. I love this window. This window is hilarious. Yes. Got him again. Do you know this ramp? Demo, this ramp, demo, this ramp, demo. You gotta run it meticulously. It is really worth putting the time to learn the ledge there. I completely stand by that. Damn it. Okay, I don't need a pallet. What I need is the window. So now we're going to talk about the different scenarios you can use, because since it's not the biggest path for this window, you're going to have another plan for when it blocks, or to avoid it blocking altogether. So say the killer's pushing you this way. Killer's pushing you this way and he goes around. A lot of times they're going to vault. Not many killers will push you around that way, especially once they realize that you're going this way, because it'll just give you way more opportunity to get away. So a lot of times the killers will actually vault. Once they vault is when you want to start running the other way. Right? You got them? Or if they double back, and let's say they double backed, and then you're running this way. And then you're back over to this window. And even a pallet sitting here is greetable to get to the next window. You can read that, he respects it, go this way. Obviously realize he might cut you off, and you're back in this scenario where you have to do the whole mind game of this. But then also, if you're mind gaming that, you could just run up the stairs and throw the pallet. So say you jump the window, and he pushes you around this way. You could then use the opportunity to switch right over to the other window. This would be the most efficient pathing, but you could use the other way and go a little bit on the outside for the long pallet, just for the pure sake of the mind games of the pallet, which could get him to mind game, which could gain you space, which could get you to the next window. But basically what you're trying to do is connect it back and forth. So say we got our two vaults here, where we ran, he's chasing us. Waited here for a sec, then get our running vault. He comes around, he's still chasing us. And then we push this way. And now he's still chasing us. If that door is closed, you can even run this way. and force him around. If the door is not closed, I would run around on the inside and get the running vault. Because if the door is open, you have to get the running vault to save as much space. The killer will push around that way. Once again, cut up, run in, and then you're running back this way. Then the killer would be chasing you. You can get to here, and then you can greed the pallet. And greeting that pallet would either get you to vault there. All right, you respected the pallet. Or if the killer ran on the outside, then you're back here. And a lot of times, that exact scenario can help you where you got your 3 vaults, right? You got your 3 vaults. You're running, and then you run over there, and you greed the pallets, have some fun mind games over there. And now, you're back to square one, and this one just unblocked. And now you can do it again. Damn. They got me. Good as shit. Which side did I have the pallet on? It is this side. Let's effing go. Let me pre-drop that really quick. If he goes through the middle, I'd be fudged. Back to my window. I don't think he realized that. This window I trust. Unlock, 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 unlock. Yes! Woo! In the window I fucking trust. And then you can throw the killer for a real loot by running upstairs. Right? So say he's pushing around this way, he doesn't see the line of sight, but now he thinks you're going to run the window. Now you can get an escape from the chase. Because the killer's mind gaming himself over in that window. And now you just got a free escape from the chase. Pallet was on the other side. Holy shit, that juked that guy hard. That crouch juke, let's go. And that's the cool thing with this one right here, is no matter which side this pallet right here is on, you can run it and chain it to this window. You can chain it if it's on that side, you can greet it to get to this window if it's on that side. If it's on the other side, you can still chain it. Because if the window is on this side, right, and you're standing here, and the killer comes in, even if he pushes you this way, and the window's on this side, he's pushing you around, he's still coming, you can still run to this window and get your jump. That is just always going to be a strong chain. But I don't like chaining this pallet to the window as much as I like running the window, because if you can get the killer to start mind gaming himself on this window, you can use that window to connect it to the rest of the entire building versus just connecting it to that chain right there. Especially if it's the inexperienced killer that doesn't know how to run around all this jagged mess. Then the killer is really in trouble, and he's really going to have to try to figure out which of the 8 million different options you are going to use to get away from him, or loop him over and over. God damn it. Yeah, she doesn't know how to loop the window. Let's fucking go. This is my favorite window in the game currently.
No. Nice. Good shit. You might get hit me here. Nope. No. Did you really just vault that? Back to my favorite window in the game. She got a hit on me though. No, I have to throw this down because I fucked up. Man, they didn't. They just left him on hook. Fucking savage. Said gens before friends, fucker. I don't think there's a pallet up here anymore. If it is, it's around this corner. No, it's around the other corner. I fucked up. No, I could have had the pallet. Dwight was probably like, I am not gonna be able to find this. There's a hex somewhere. I love this building though. This building is hilarious. You go up top. Can't hit me there. Haha. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble here. It blocked. Tried to sneak in from up top, but I know that trick. Come on. He's tried everything. Oh shit. That might work though. She learned how to today. I think she gets me. I don't think I make this. No! Come on, Spirit. Let's go, Spirit. Oh shit, and it's Strider. Or Rancor.
Wanted to get more use out of this window. Oh, that's bad. No, she dropped down. Do I have that window back yet? I do have the window back. Let's go. Yes. He's gonna get me as soon as Rancor is done, though. Oh my goodness. So listen as I sing of the temptations of this world. Fancy cars and needles, whiskey, flesh, and bird. That fucking song is great. Yes! The ramp knowledge. Fuck, I'm in a bad position here. Did he double back finally? He didn't. We're sitting here playing chicken. Building is so fucking strong.
It is the booba. Damn it. Is it bamboozle? It is not bamboozle. It's gonna block now. That's fine. I'll make it to the next window. He didn't break the door either, which is nice. I think I make the window again, right? Unless he has bloodlust. He does have bloodlust. That's Sag. I'm not going to make the window. I'll make this pallet though. Haha, let's go. I'll have to throw it down though, unfortunately. Maybe I won't. God damn it. I can't run that window. I have to burn this one because I wouldn't have made it. I have to flip it back actually, which is fine. I know how to do so. No, I can't because the pallet's done. Oh shit. Filthy Sig was live! Holy shit. I think he is bloodlust me. Oh! Oh! I'm gonna throw this actually. He didn't lose the bloodlust. Good shit. Oh no! Good shit. Good shit, Bubba. I don't know if he can really use his power on this. Right? Should have gone the other way. I will this time though. I want to see if he knows. Yes. I love this window. This is my favorite window in the game right now. Oh shit, the pallet's already gone. Oh, the pallet was still up here. Oh, damn it. God damn it. Oh, this pallet's gone too. No, they're all gone. All the pallets are gone. Oh my goodness. That is a booba. My fucking god.
No, went the wrong way. Oh, boo. Got him. Got him again. Oh god. Yeah, I knew that was coming. If you'd have double vaulted though. Can I make it to the other window? No! So, in short, with this whole map, the main building is the bread and butter in terms of looping the entire map. It's a huge map, so there's going to be a lot of holding forward, where when you get hit, you're just going to hold forward anyway to get as much distance, right? So, basically, you just want to loop whatever tile you're at where the killer starts to chase you at, and then you can get hit and then use your sprint burst just to get right back to the main building, and wherever you're at, you can work accordingly. But once you get back to the main building, it's looping time. Come here, Hunty. Ooh. We got the jukes. Let's go to the other window now. She's vaulting that window. Oh, she left, okay. Uh-oh. I realized too late. What's she done? She went above me. I didn't expect her to try that. Uh-oh. Oh my god. Damn it. They got Tinkler. It's over this way. No, this poor guy. It's not fucking open. Oh my fucking god. I went to the wrong one. Good shit, Jeff. No, Jeff. God damn it. Where the fuck is the other door? Yep. Back to this window. Oh my god. Oh shit. Is there the pallet up here? Here we go. Yeah, get an M1 on me here. Maybe I'll get him to swing here. If he doesn't know. Yes. Run. The asylum is OP. We're all over here. I want to make YouTube videos of every map. I think he's gonna get an M1 here though, unfortunately. He didn't. He's running this extremely weird. Does he get an M1 here? He didn't. I'm getting chased and they didn't get that person off hook. This is what I'm talking about, you guys. About, like, I need to make these videos on YouTube about how to loot this shit. Because this shit is funny as hell. He's gonna swing here. You see what I'm saying? Like... Alright, he respected the pallet. No, he's back here. He has bloodlust, though, so he's gonna get a... Yeah, one here. This is why I gotta make these videos, dude. And, like, also guides on killer, like, don't fucking chase survivors when they're doing this shit. Because you will suffer. Good shit. Oh shit, he might get me here. No! I fucked up.
Yes. Dang. Run that window. Yay. Shit is funny as hell, dude. I love this building. This is one of my favorite buildings in the whole game. This building is funny as hell. And it almost never changes. Oh, shit. I fucked up. I thought he was after somebody else. He gonna get a hit on me here. That's fine. Always got save the best for last. That's fine, because I have the pallet up here. And then I have the best window in the game. Or it's not the best window in the game, it's my favorite window in the game. This is why. Oh fuck. I fucked up. God damn it. Got me. God damn it. Then I make dumb mistakes like that. Is he gonna break the door ski? Fine, I'll loop this instead. I'm gonna go down here, because I'll greed the pallet. Haha! Yes! I was like, is this really a Weskerable tile? I didn't think so. Yes! They make it away. I think you can make it to me though with being Wesker. Oh, fuck! Do I have enough distance? Run to the other window. Run to the other window. And being annoyed with 4 slowdowns while playing Survivor. Like, that's literally just always going to be annoying. Are you really? There you go. I should have stayed downstairs and looped there. Let's go waste this pallet instead. We're gonna even up the playing field a bit, right? That's what we're doing. Dude, I can never get that fast vault anymore. I don't know why. I used to be able to. You still chase me, right? God damn it. That's good shit. He has a mastermind thing. God damn it. I shouldn't have greeted it. Haha. Yes. What's up, Chris Forrester? Wait, I said it right. I did. Let's go. Thanks for the follow, mate. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. It's hump day. If he jumps that, can I get back to my favorite window at least? Good shit. Ooh, I do make it back to my window, which is nice. Alright, he is chasing us. I'm gonna take a down here. That's fine. Is this window broke? I hijacked this chase from Steve. Now it's Steve's turn. Oh shit. I didn't expect a zombie. Alright, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm sorry, Steve. I was selfish and I wanted to be chased. Use the tree tech. Free drop. Do I make back to this window? I think so, right? Because it's up the ramp. Yes! This is one of my favorite windows in the entire game. This window's fucking hilarious. Was that vault not in chase? I hope not. That would be fucking hilarious too. You guys see what I'm saying about how strong this building is? You go the right way.
I can... Hopefully he goes for a whip on this ramp and I can juke it. Yes! That was exactly what I was hoping would happen. Oh shit, I thought he double backed. It won't work again. No! I missed! No!
Dang. I love this window. This window is hilarious. Did I make it? I think I do. Yes, I do. He vaulted. Alright, nice. He's just giving up. That's why he vaulted. God damn it. The zombie in that door. What the fuck? Why does it sound like he's walking so fast? Damn. Free drop. I think I make this. You might get me with the whip, though. No, you did not. I do not know where these gates are. Oh, there they are. Let's go. I think we got it. Telling you guys, the fucking main buildings are over. He struck out. Alrighty, dude. Would you fucking love to see it? Dude, the first chase of the day. Cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Oh my god, I fucked up. That's fine. Run back to my favorite window in the game. Not this one, actually. I won't make the other one because it's Wraith. Fuck. Oh, okay. I was like, the fuck are you doing? Does he double back? He didn't. Interesting. Does he double back here? He didn't. Oh no, there's the fucking... Oh, damn, good shit. He got me here. I guess not. What the hell? How did he win the mind game but lose? I'm not warm enough to even... No. I'm not warm at all. God damn it.
I think he had the thingy. Ah! Barbecue, or what's it called? Lethal Pursuer. Oh! Fuck, he knows how to curve. Run to the easy window! This window is OP. Run around. I'm stuck. Ah! Oh, this is bait. I'm not gonna pre-drop it. Thought about it though. Oh fuck! That was so lucky. Window come back. No! Yay, he's gonna get it. We could run this way. Here we go. Oh, fuck. Am I fucked here? I at least have the window. I can't. I'm going down. I thought it was. Back to the window. Pre-drop. He can go around it though. He didn't. No! Good shit. Someone run upstairs? Oh fuck, he thought I... That's hilarious. No, fucking stutter step.
He's gonna get me here. Fucking A. Oh shit! Ah! God damn it, I pressed the wrong button. That's so sad. I know, that's my favorite alert, I'm not gonna lie. It's because it fucking me every single time. Woo! See, if anybody was getting tunnel right now, I'd teabag there just because it's funny to teabag nurse. Yes! Can I make it back to the... No! He's faster than me! No! I forgot about this! Yes! The window is still OP. No! No! Dude, what the fuck is up with all these nurses? I'm so fucking annoyed. Like, seriously. Are you kidding me? I'm about to, like, fucking DC. You fucked up. Have some bags. This is the 4th one in 6 games. Literally the 4th nurse in 6 games. I feel bad now, though. No. I'm being sassy now just because it's too many nurses I've seen. This one doesn't even deserve the bags, and I'm sitting here bagging because I'm like sick of it. My god, I'm gonna get hit because I fucked up and didn't see him. Yes! Didn't matter. This loop is OP as fuck. I don't know if that counted as a vault and chase. It did. No. Yes. Oh fuck. I'm not gonna make it anywhere. Yes, I will. Yes! Oh god, he has the thingy. But we have the thingy. Oh god, he has the thingy. He has the other thingy. No, he doesn't. He does have 7, however. Ah! God damn it. What do you got, fucking bamboozle? It's not. Okay. Ah! Ah! Yes! Am I gonna make this? I don't even know. Yes! Oh, make it! No, I won't. I forgot she threw this pallet already. No, she's throwing me off. Oh, nice. Yes, the unbreak a skill. Please jump that window. That was close. So is it that way? That's where the door was? I couldn't remember. The fuck? Where is he? I think I waited too long. Hey, what's up? Derp. Oh! Wow, that's one of the closest escapes I've ever had. My fucking heart's pounding. I'm not gonna lie. My heart is actually pounding. Holy crap. Oh my goodness. We carried though.